Alright, so I've been going at this pretty much most of the day. As you can see, I have a lot of the floor already cut and done. And yes, I picked up a few tips. One of them is that I don't really need to mark the tiles. Maybe the first time I needed to do it, but I don't need to mark the tiles. All the measuring, so nothing is in here. Most of these are loose, which I'm going to have to take up because today's Friday and it's late in the evening and I need to go out and do my bike ride. So this corner, this had 2 cuts on it. All 4 of the corners are going to get 2 cuts minimum. This one still needs to be cut. So basically what I do is I just set this up. And almost all of these were, like along here, it was all like 11 3/8. So I just set for an 11 3/8 cut on the machine and started cutting away. And I had 6 cuts across here. The thing is, it's 6 more cuts this way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I've got 6 more cuts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so the corners have to get cut twice. But there's a little bit of a complication here. I thought that I might draw this piece in so I wouldn't have to make this 2 different sizes, but then I had too much stuff sitting over here and I said no, I want that covered up. So there's about a 1/2 inch difference between that and that. So this is going to have to get cut right there. And so that one's going to get 4 cuts. And 2 of those cuts are going to be difficult. And this one's going to be the same business. So the thing is, you make the longer cut first. The most important thing is if it fits in the hole, then you've made the wrong cut. So right now that doesn't fit. You make the longer cut first, and then later on, actually it's not this piece is going to come off, I'm going to have to cut from there across there, so I have to be careful not to make that mistake when I go to cut it. This one is the same story. I'm going to have to cut a piece out of here to make this piece go back up in there. As I said, I thought I would try and move that back a little bit, and I decided not to. One of the most important tips that I picked up is really, really, really important on this machine. I don't know how other machines fare, but one of the most important things for me was when I made the measurements, when I set this thing up, it is very, very important. So pulling this out, it is very, very important to get the front and the back of the blade, and it's really about getting this lined up. But if you don't get this just exactly right, it will bind up and stop. It just will not like it. The other problem I had was this little guy that holds this thing up also has to be aligned, so I ran into a little problem with that. So, but it's got 2 adjusting screws right there, so I adjusted it. As you can see, it's a sloppy, messy, I mean really sloppy, messy job. I think this was a 6-inch cut. Let me see. In fact, I'm pretty sure. I was cutting off 6 inches. The other thing is you have to decide where you're going to position. I needed to cut 6 inches off. And where it is what side of the blade you're going to position from. So I positioned, on this one, I'm cutting off 6 inches. If I were making a 6-inch wide piece, I would have the 6-inch notch on the inside of the blade instead of the outside. So you're really looking at where you're cutting with position of the blade. If you want a 6-inch piece, then you have to measure the 6 inches between here and here. If you want to cut 6 inches off, you have to measure between here and here. So, the other thing is, this is a wet saw, and I've already made all my cuts, so it's very important. I did this in the house so that I could have some air conditioning, but I'm wondering if that was a wise thing to do. This thing is such a mess. I don't know how I'm going to clean it. I don't know how you clean this. I really don't know how you clean this. What, you just dump this out? Well, I don't think you leave it in there. Or maybe you do. Oh, you tip it up. That's what this hole is for. You think you tip it up and it drains out this hole. So, okay, alright. But there won't be any water hose involved here because I'm in the house, unless I take this thing outside and do this. And the other part of it is when, and I'll do one more. I did finally figure out a pattern, and it's basically, you know, throw this thing down, push it, and just use one hand on either side and just slide it through. Use two hands and just push it on through. And if it binds up at all, that means you've got a problem. So you need to stop, turn the saw off. And if it's binding up, one of the tricks is don't take the piece out, just stop the saw and see where it's binding up. You'll be able to see right away. And then once you see where it's binding, you can make adjustments. Wouldn't try to, and sometimes you might have to recut the piece. I'm sure I've got one or two pieces that had to be recut. But as you can see, it's really coming together. It's really starting to look good. I like the look of this floor. It's looking really good. But I run out of time for the day, and I'm going to go on my bike ride when I get back. I'm not going to be able to work on this for the weekend because I'm going to work on the sailboat, and we'll have a video about that. I haven't arranged anything, but I do need to go out and check on the sailboat. So, over the weekend, while I'm not working on this, I'm going to take all this up so it doesn't get damaged. The hard part will be figuring out where everything goes. I think what I might do is just stack things in the corner, because I still have 6 cuts over here to make, and 4 more cuts on those 2 corner pieces, that one and that one. So, it's like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this corner piece is already cut. The other thing is, don't step on these. There's nothing underneath them. The previous work is solid. It really feels good. The only problem is I can't leave this stuff down. The cat walked on it, and I thought she was going to break it. And she's just a little cat. See, I can't leave that way. And, oh, this one also has to get 2 more cuts. Again, do the long cut first, the longest piece first, because this one's going to have to get cut. And right here, probably, and it's, like I said, I'm doing 1/2 inch less than the distance, right, because I've got a 1/4 inch on each side. Of course, if you've got a shorter, like a 3/16, then you're doing 3/8. You're cutting away 3/8. But these large format tiles, I just did 1/4 inch. I thought I was going to do a small, but now that I see it, the 1/4 inch here, I'm glad I did the 1/4 inch instead of the 3/16, which would have been really foolish. These big tiles, it saves so much more work. So anyway, I'm going to go on my bike ride. When I come back, I'm going to put all this stuff up, and then we're going to start again on Monday. I'm Dr. Bob. Everyone take care. Well, we'll see you again on Monday. Actually, you'll probably see the next video right now, because I'm not going to you'll just click and say, okay, next video. So it won't be Monday, it'll be like 10 seconds from now. So anyway, have a great day in case you do wait until Monday. Bye. Thanks for watching my program.